It is 2 o'clock, so I may go ahead and get started. First, I am Julie Halicka. If you don't know me, I'm the Jefferson Training Coach with Childcare Aware at the Human Development Institute. This is an image I made when I went through the Adobe Creative Educator certification as one of the assignments, and used one of their templates that they have that you can actually have students use. So my favorite food is chocolate. I'm that techie training coach. I have an MDiv in worship in addition to my MS in early childhood studies. When I'm not coaching, you will find me doing church music or programming Christmas lights. I worked as a web developer and a digital media technician, and I am married to George. A few things, organizations for you to know about. ISTE is the International Society for Technology and Education, and they do big national conferences. You can go in person or you can attend virtually, and there's lots of different tech topics. There is also KISTE, which I actually gave this presentation at KISTE this year here in Louisville. It's my second year presenting at KISTE. If you are a presenter, you get free access to everything that happens at the conference. So I got 2.5 days of lots of different sessions. I think there were 13 or 14 sessions. So it's a lot all at once. And KISTE is changing their name to CAST as of this year. Our roadmap for today, I'm going to talk about adventures in AI, the independent study I created, and then kind of walk you through the process step by step. So I started with a Canva doc, I added Loom video, I added Google quizzes, and then I also went through a quality checklist and using a pilot group to check as far as training length. And then I'll do some Q&A at the end. You can add extra questions that you have, and I also have the questions that were asked when you registered that I wasn't already answering on a slide, so I can go through and answer those for you. All right, so Adventures in Artificial Intelligence, the evolution. So the Adventures in Artificial Intelligence training started out as a face-to-face. And I did it as a face-to-face training, I wanna say in Berea. And then I did it as a webinar. And then I repurposed it so it could also be an independent study. So it went through all the different forms of training, which if you have content, why not use it in multiple ways for multiple people? And so I was like, okay, this was really good in person. How do I change the content so it works for online and I can have more people access what I've already spent time developing? So it started with a Canva doc. And it's going to take a second to load here. In Canva, you actually can embed a document in a slide presentation. This slide presentation is a Canva presentation. And we will see if it loads here. Yes, okay. So this is, I did send out to all of you to be able to take a look at. So this is the Adventures in AI Independent Study in a Canva doc. Canva docs are just like Google Docs, very similar. It's just the version that's inside of Canva. So I put my header, my course description, training objectives, course availability, technology, contact information, how can people get a hold of me so it's not an Anana course, how they can schedule a meeting if they have questions, a way to connect with other learners. I made a Facebook group chat for the independent study, course materials, and then here's where we get into the course. So here's their assignment checklist at the beginning. So here, there's 5 things to do in this course. I explained how to use Loom. So they knew how to use the videos and what they could do with them. And then this is actually the Loom video embedded in this document. So you don't have to click and go anywhere else to watch resources in the course. It's all in one document to make it super easy for participants. And so from within this document, you can actually hit play and watch the video. It's got reactions at the bottom. They can react to it. They can comment on the video. They could take it full screen if they wanted to watch it. Except that popped me out of Canva. If they weren't in my Canva account, it would pop full screen for them. Let's see. Let me pop back into present mode. So then we've got welcome and introduction. We've got the objective that I'm trying to meet. We've got the content for that objective. And that one had 4 videos. And then there's an assignment there. The assignment, what is AI Quick Check, links right to a Google form for them to fill out and complete the assignment. And for the videos, what is the best summary of the video is a good way to make sure people actually watch your videos. And that's something you can create even with AI. Give it a video and it'll look at the transcript and it can create 3 different descriptions, one of which is accurate and the other 2 have. So all of the assignments for the course are all in this one document. All of the videos, all of the quick checks, it's one document for people to go through. So how did I make this? Well, let's start with Canva. Canva, if you have not used Canva, is great. It's easy. You could also use Google Docs for this, though, if you prefer Google Docs. So in Canva, you can get a free account of Canva. If you're an educator, you can get a free educator account, which has a little more as far as graphics and features that you can use. So I'm in Canva, and if you click create, there's all the different things you can make in Canva, but for now, create a document. And it'll make a new document. And then that's just like where you were typing in Word. It's really not any harder than that as far as Canva docs. And I sent you, I'm going to switch over to that for a sec, a template for an independent study, which is based on what I showed you for my AI independent study. So you can make a copy of that and use that as a starting point if you want to do some independent studies with Canva, or you could even download it as a docx or download it and upload it to Google if you'd rather use that instead of Canva. So I've got the course title, the course description, training objectives, availability, all of the headings and all of the things to think about to put into your course, modify it as you would like. So you got your completion requirements, the outline. I've got the instruction on using Loom videos. If you only use YouTube, obviously take that out. Course title, welcome and introduction. And then I have one objective there, which you could copy that one objective as many times as you want for whatever your course material is. Does all of that make sense? Do you need to see any more about Canva Docs? Do you recommend using the free educator account or purchasing an account? I'm only using the free educator account. The educator account pretty much is a pro account if you have that. So I wouldn't purchase if you have the educator account. I don't think you need to. Let's talk about Loom. Loom is probably one of my absolute favorite video tools because editing in Loom is so easy. So loom.com, it looks like their account types are changing a little bit, but you can still do a free account with up to 25 videos. And you can download videos, and then if you download and then delete, if you don't need something anymore, you can keep recording new ones. So it's not like you get to 25 and you're done. Their paid account, I think, is 75% off for educators, but you have to contact them to get an account now. So but Loom, the strength of Loom is that you can record in your web browser and edit in your web browser without needing any extra software, and it's pretty easy to edit. That's what I like Loom for. I will just open up. You see there's lots of different videos here. I'm going to open up one that I just made for a course that's coming out soon. So this is the video I recorded. You can record directly in a browser, or there's a download that you can get from Loom to use on your desktop. And once you've recorded, there's edit and trim video. And honestly, this is why I love this. You see the breaks in it? That's where I cut stuff out of the video at the bottom. So you can go through a video and just click split and click split. And then you could delete. And there, that piece of the video is gone. It's that easy to edit out video. So if you're talking about something to make a video and then you're like, oh, I misspoke here and I misspoke here, you don't have to re-record with this. The whole thing, you can literally just add a piece or cut out pieces that you don't want. And it's not deleting it when I do that. So I could drag that back and now that piece is back in the video. And that's really the power of Loom. You'll also see how it has my face down in the corner, in the lower left-hand corner. So you can see me as I talk about it. You're not just getting my voice. And you can change the size of that from a little circle to a big circle. So it's still a little more personalized. You feel like you're interacting with a human and not just seeing something on screen with this voice from out of nowhere. It also does create, auto creates a transcript for you, which is also super nice. You don't have to do anything special. That's included with their account. So that's a transcript of the whole video. With this, if you have their paid accounts, you can actually edit just with the transcript. Like you can just pick words and pick delete and it'll edit it out of the video. That's the advantage to the paid account there. Serena, I see you have a hand up.
Yes, ma'am. You're talking, giving so much information and it's great. And I put my hand up because I didn't want to lose my question. For Loom, this is something that's new to me. And you're talking about recording. Can you upload a recording of something else to Loom and merge two videos together?
I know you can merge two clips you made in Loom. I'm not sure if you can add another clip to what's already here, but you can download what you made here if you need to combine it in another piece of software. Like if you wanted to download it and upload it to YouTube, you can download the cut version as you would have it finished, whatever it would play as. That can be downloaded and added to a different piece of software to combine clips or to upload it to YouTube.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. Any other questions while we are paused? I see it seems very user-friendly. Yes, it is very user-friendly, and that's why I like it. The other thing it's good for, just as a side note, if you are grading assignments for people, you can pull their document up and talk through your feedback instead of typing it all out. I do that a lot in FET with my Jefferson folks, and I'll actually like pull up their training plan or their training plan worksheet and talk through the changes. Because sometimes if you send a list of things that someone did wrong, it makes them feel bad. But if you're kind and gentle and nice and your voice sounds nice when you're explaining it, it's a different thing. So it also saves me a lot of time, honestly. Sometimes it's a lot faster to talk through something than it is to type through it. So so for the Adventures in AI course, the videos that I made were all Loom videos all the way back. So the videos that are inside of this are almost all those Loom videos. I cut out the pieces I didn't want, and then I was able to add them to this document. Loom, let's see if I can show you how Loom records or not. Because I'm on video, I'm not sure if it's going to let me also bring up video, but let me give it a try here and see. I may just have to turn my camera off for a minute, but let's see how we do. Let me try turning off my video there and turning it on Loom to see if you can see me there. All right. And I'm going to have to drag this over. Oh, it won't let me drag it off my first screen. Here, let me see if I can switch my screens around. I need to switch my share for you all. And share. We'll share screen 1 now instead. Okay. You see this little circle? That is, and you can make it the big size depending upon what you want it to be, the bigger size, or you can use the smaller size. Let me move the other controls back over so you can see them. And then to start recording, you literally just click start recording and you pick the screen and off you go. And then you just click stop when you're done. And then it pops up in Loom for you to go edit it. It's really that simple. Does anybody have any questions about Loom? Okay, let me stop. Let me close Loom then. Close. Okay. And I will just keep my screens where they are and flip flop myself. All right. So going on from there. So we have talked about Loom video. When you add the Loom video to your Canva doc, let's see, it's still open here. Share. And actually under embed, you just need to copy the link to put it in Canva. I'm just going to grab a new document and Control V, and it will, you put the link in and it magically turns it into, that's it. That's all you have to do to embed that in a Canva document. Make sense? Okay. And let me turn my video back on for you so you're not listening to a disembodied voice. All right. So then moving on from there to Google Forms. That's the next piece of this independent study puzzle. So for the Google Forms, first thing you want to do is actually make a Google Sheet. Why do you make a Google Sheet? If you have multiple quizzes, the first thing you do is make a Google Sheet, because you can put your answer from multiple quizzes all in the same sheet to make it a lot easier for you to track. So this is a copy, not the original, because I didn't want to leave student data in it while I was demoing it. But this is a copy of all of the assignments that I had in my AI. So each tab is a different assignment. So I can easily look across all 5 tabs for a person and see if they've done it, if they've completed all of their assignments. So I'll show you how to do that. So Google Forms, let's make a blank quiz. And Google Forms is, I sent you the link in your email yesterday. So you just put your questions in. What is, probably start with name and email, name, and then you have question types. So you can have short answer or a paragraph, depending upon what you want them to write. Multiple choice, checks, boxes, drop downs. You can have file uploads. So if there's an assignment, you want them to upload like a document to you, you can have them upload, or an image, you can have them upload. So for this one, I'll just say short answer, text. Let's add just a couple more questions so you can see what that looks like. Let's do another short answer with email. And then let's do, let me show you paragraph. So it looks per paragraph. Let's see. Write a paragraph. Yeah. Long answer. And then let's do a multiple choice so you can see. Pick the best option. Let's go. Okay. Better and best. Now for the ones that would auto grade, so like pick the best option, you can add answer feedback or choose the correct answers. So responses. You can see there's no responses to this quiz yet. Here's where you link to the sheets to send the results to all the same sheet. So you put your questions in it, and then under responses, link to sheets. And then you can have it create a new sheet or select an existing sheet. That's where the magic is, to put it all in one sheet. So you select, and then it's going to have you go into your drive.
The magic is selecting the existing. Is that what you just said?
Yes, the magic is you create one master sheet, and that's where you can send them all to the same sheet. So when you select an existing sheet, because if you don't, it's going to put them all in separate sheets, and then you got to keep track of which ones all go together. So back here again, instead of create a new spreadsheet, select existing, and then it'll take you to your drive to pick the sheet that you just made before you started on this. And so I'm going to just pick the one that I had for this course. And it adds a new sheet at the beginning, and you can drag it wherever you want, where it sits in the course. And then you can see, what is your name? What is your email address? Write a paragraph, pick the best option. That's the questions we just made. So then it's easy to see if someone's has finished everything. Settings, you can release grades immediately or after manual review. So if you're having someone submit paragraphs or files that you want to review, you'd want to switch this. If it's something that's multiple choice, auto graded, then you can release it immediately. And I can go back and show you how to grade. So let me go back into the other nice thing is if they have documents, you'll have links to the documents if you have them upload within those Google Sheets. Let me go to my drive. Okay, I see a question. Step-by-step guide for each of these resources. How to develop a Google Forms quiz and link to sheets, how to grade. I could probably jump and describe how and do something like that and send it out later. I don't have something right now, but yes, I saw some clapping. I can do that. I can jump and describe how and click through it so it'll create a guide. But I was gonna go show you grading. So let me go back to my forms or my drive to open for grading. The second tab, once you have responses, under responses, it gives you a summary, but then it gives you individual. So if you go to the individual tab, you can add individual feedback. Obviously, I don't need to add it for a name, but AI prompts should be add individual feedback. You can just type right there, whatever your feedback is, or link to a Loom or link to a video. So here is my feedback for the learner. Save. And then it shows up underneath the question. And then when you're done, so I didn't upload anything. That's why my grade is 0. So I could say, please upload your assignment. Save. And please upload your assignment. And then what it'll do, if I click release score, it sends an email to the submitter with my comments that I just made and shows them what their score is right now. So you can send emails and release right from there, and you're done. And they've gotten an email with your comments and feedback on that quiz. Pretty easy. Relatively, it's getting used to using the tool. So let me go back to, so we added Loom video, we added a Google quiz, Grading and sending feedback. The next thing I'm going to share, and I sent this to you all, the high quality course checklist. This comes right off of the observation form. I've just condensed it into one document. So these are all of the things that are on what we use for asynchronous courses to evaluate them. And it's just in a document that has checkboxes, so you can go through and kind of self-check. Do you have everything you should or want to have in your course? Is it high quality? Are you letting them interact with you as a human being? Can they ask questions? Can they interact with each other? What kind of content are you including? Do you help learners test their knowledge and practice skills? It's all things for you to think through to be able to self-check. And even if you don't do everything, the more you do, the higher quality course you can create. Because we all know more people are doing the online and asynchronous courses now since COVID. They just are. It is what it is. And a lot of the online stuff has not been the greatest quality. And so my hope is if we do more self-checking as trainers, we can kind of raise the quality of what they are doing when they do those courses. So there's that quality checklist. Pilot group. I recommend you have at least a couple people try your course and see how long it takes them. When you're trying to come up with time for an asynchronous course, start with how long are all your videos? Because that's if they watch them all, and we hope they watch them all, then how long are those videos? How long are the quizzes going to take them? How long are any assignments going to take? And it is a little different from person to person sometimes. That's why it's good to have at least 2 or 3 people, if you can, try your course and see how long it takes them before you decide on an amount of clock hours. And then when you enter it, you can still give those people who piloted for you credit, but you might decide the credit after you enter it. Because if you're a credentialed trainer, right? You can let them pilot it and then give them credit when you publish the course for the first time. Some questions that we had that were on the survey when people registered: platforms and cost. Obviously today I used Canva, Loom, and Google Forms. All of those are free or have free versions. You still need to figure out how you're going to have them pay you for the course, which there's all sorts of different ways. That's a business decision. I know there's everything from Square to Venmo, even depending upon to Stripe and PayPal are the online payment platforms that are probably most popular. I'm not going to get into all of that today. That's really more of a business decision for you individually. But if you have questions, ask your training coach. And there are some resources in the creating your first online course that we could pull out if you need some ideas. How to set up for credit. I mean, setting up for credit is just like any other training. If somebody takes it, then you have to enter the credit within the time that they finish. You would put it in Tris the same way you would face-to-face or a webinar. Remember with your online and asynchronous courses that you can not have just one article and one set of questions or a video and a set of questions. Regs say it has to be more than that. So you could have an article and a video and questions. And obviously the more you have them practice the skill you're teaching, the better off of a course it's going to be. So make sure to think about that. Methods of pacing, really it's that pilot. That pilot's going to be your best way to get a good sense of how long it takes some people other than you who knows the content really well. Creating consistent projects. I gave you a template. Having a template will help. Doing a self-check will help. And that's why I gave you that high quality course checklist to self-check. You may want to have a set of colors for your training agency and your logo that's on everything that will help it stay consistent and keep a same look and feel. Within the Adventures in AI, I use the same template for all the little videos that I put within the course. It's all the same template. I just different sections of that were in different chunks. Making projects interactive with an independent study. It's giving them projects to work on and actually spending the time to give them individual feedback and not have everything auto-graded. A lot of their interactions can be with you as the teacher. It could be with colleagues if you give them assignments where they have to talk to a colleague about X and then report back on it, or talk to their director about something and report back on it, or talk to their co-teacher, or talk to someone else in the field who is doing the thing that you're trying to do. That's a way you can have them interact with other humans, even if it's an independent study. Minimum course length for independent studies is 1 hour, just like every other course type. So you can't have any less than 1 hour. Everything has to be at least an hour. Now it could be in smaller chunks. My AI, I want to say, was an hour and a half or 2 hours. There were 5 chunks in it. So someone could sit down and do smaller little pieces, but they got credit for the whole course as one piece, and the whole thing together has to be at least an hour. So what other questions do you have? I know that was a lot. How do you decide on how much to charge? I see that in the chat. There's a couple different ways you can survey other people in your area and see what they're charging. That's one way. Look at how much time it's going to take you to grade the course and grade the course assignments. Look at what other people are charging in the area. That's the main way, is really do a survey and then think about how much time is it realistically going to take you, and what are the assignments worth, and how many credit hours is the course worth. But again, that's kind of a personal business decision. Does Canva have an avenue for discussions or discussions boards? Canva does have a whiteboard feature now. But it's more like a draw on kind of a whiteboard than it is like a comment on something. Canva does not have discussion boards. I'm trying to think of, Padlet would be great for discussions, for group discussions. And you can have 3 Padlets, I think, in their free account. And if you had different discussions within a course, they could all be in the same board with a different column for each discussion. So you would only theoretically have to use one board in a course, even if you had multiple discussions. But Padlet would be great for that. If you did the Trainers Institute board, that was an example of a Padlet. What are different methods to gauge participation? There are several. A lot of it is quizzes and assignments. I tend to quiz a lot. Some people do a lot fewer quizzes. I feel like people tend to rush through online courses and independent studies if you don't make them slow down. And so I do a lot of assessment after little chunks. For example, in the independent study, let me see, do I still have that open? Checklist. Well, in any case, in the independent study, I don't think I had more than 2 short videos or 3 short videos before I had a quiz. Every video had a quiz associated with it, even if it was just which description best matches the video. I checked knowledge very regularly, even if it's a 4 or 5 question quiz. It doesn't have to be a giant assignment, but I think because people rush through things, if you don't make them slow down, they may not. And so I tend to probably do more quizzes than less. Also, having assignments where they're applying the skills will test if they looked at what the requirements are and what you were trying to teach them. And so in my syllabus that I shared that, you have to turn in the assignments and they have to be completed. And I have to say that they're completed. It's not just turn it in and you're done. It has to be turned in correctly before you're done the course. And that was kind of shared up front in my syllabus document. A beginning place maybe to take the course, creating your first online course. That one has information about payment methods, and that's really delving into the full-blown online course in a learning management system and all of that. So it depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to do a lot of independent studies, maybe not, but we can pull out some of the resources on how to charge. But if you want to do online courses, then yes, the creating your first online course would be a great place to really delve in deep to that. And that's a two-parter. The first part kind of goes into this, how you would technically set up an LMS. And then the second part really is an independent study with like getting your first course up, where like you'll get individual feedback for Dawn or I, depending upon what platform you're working on, and we can help you cross that threshold into your first course. If you share a doc with multiple people, you could do a discussion board style document. You could do that with Google Docs. That's correct. Yeah. You could have a doc that everybody is allowed to edit and type in and ask them to type. You just have to be careful people don't edit other people's responses if you do that. Because that could be easy to do. That's why Padlet would probably be better. But again, if you don't want to invest in the Padlet or because you need more than 3 boards, then you could just type into a document. That's correct. Is it too much to ask them to upload a picture of them doing the activity or the completed activity? No, absolutely not. In fact, in the Adventures in AI independent study, I had them upload some images they made with some AI tools, because I showed them how to make images with AI tools, and then I had them upload the image, and then I had them process how did it go, did they get what they expected, and try a second image and see if you can get closer to what you wanted, or try a different tool. So you can have them do the thing and then analyze the thing they're trying to do and how did it go. But yeah, you absolutely can have them take pictures, and sometimes it's easier to take a picture than it is to write a paragraph. So people really, most people at this point, I won't say everyone, but most people are pretty adept at being able to take a picture with their camera and upload to something. So that's absolutely an option. Yes, and have them reflect on the photo. What other questions might we have? I will say, now that we are in an age of AI, I would ask more application type questions and apply to your own situation and your own circumstances when you are doing any kind of course evaluation in any course. Because if it's just a knowledge dump, somebody could go into AI and get the answer and dump it back at you. You want to make them do things that actually apply it to their life and their work and their world, and ask questions that make them do that. Because AI doesn't know all of that. Can you have a question on a Google form that allows the person to upload a document directly to your Google form? Like, oh, I already answered that one. Yes, you can. And I've had Word doc assignments too, where I've given them a template and had them fill in the answers on the Word doc and upload it back to me. Any other questions? All right, well, I have 2 teasers for you then. And if you have other questions, you can pop them in. The first one is a video that the training coaches made just earlier this week. So let me play that for you. are doing a trainer track at Casey with 2 different trainings. There's 2 pairs of training coaches who are offering those. So all the information is on Facebook. This video is going out or has been sent to you already. The other thing is we are about to launch another Beyond Fundamentals, probably within the next couple weeks, introduction to podcasting and vodcasting and how to use that within your courses. So that's all I have for today. This isn't an actual training, it's an informational session, so we don't have to go the full hour, but I'm happy to answer more questions if you have them. I'm gonna hang around, but thank you for coming today. And if you have questions, feel free to email and ask. I will work on a ScribeHow for some of those tools and just how to, especially the Google Forms piece of it. And I can send that out to the list who register for the training. So
Thank you so much.
how are participants find the independent study? You could send somebody out to somebody who reaches out. When you publish a course, it goes in the TRIS directory for a certain number of years. Normally they put it in. So when you publish a new independent study, it can be listed in TRIS. And you could also, you could also market to directors in your area if it's a topic that they need or want. You could send an email and say, hey, I've just launched a new independent study. Just want to let you know it's available, with directors that you have a relationship with. You could certainly email this out to someone who reaches out via registration. As far as the independent study, the way we worked it on HDI Learning was it was auto sent as part of the response when somebody bought the course. So as part of the receipt there, it triggered something that sent an email. Is there any data about how much independent studies courses are used? There is, and we do quarterly gap analysis. I'm not sure what the last set of data was though on that. Online courses are still probably the most popular right now. But independent studies are second. Actually, the least popular style is webinars at this point. I think everybody got tired of them during COVID. And so webinars are actually the least popular training format at this point. There is a lot involved in an independent study, but the other thing is if you've already done something as a face-to-face training and you want to get more use out of it, that's where it might be worth just spending the time recording it, because it's not creating it at that point. It's just making your videos and quizzes to go with it and then making it an extra offering. So repurposing that content.